dear gardening friends. We bring these wonderful, beautiful plants, roses, into our gardens, and sometimes we wonder how long should we expect this plant to live and delight us with those beautiful blooms. So today we are going to visit a very old town in Germany, virtual visit, where we will see a very old rose. It's actually the oldest rose in the world. And guess how long it is living? It's 1,000 years old, approximately. And also we are going to talk how long you should expect your rose to live in your garden. In the old town Hildesheim in Germany, there is a very old cathedral. It is St. Mary's Cathedral. Now that cathedral sometimes is called Hildesheim Cathedral. And why it is so famous, so the Rosarian world, is because on its wall there is the oldest rose in the world growing. It's called, the name of the rose is dog rose, and it's Rosa canina. It's an old rose growing for many, many centuries on that wall. And dogwood rose usually grows from 1 to 3 feet. They have, this particular rose has whitish, pinkish blooms, simple flower, and usually they are up to 3 feet in height. But sometimes, because of their very thorny stems, they can climb if allowed. So this particular dogwood rose is living on that wall for approximately 1,000 years. The documentation of that rose being present on that spot is for last 800 years, but the legend said that it was planted 1,000 years ago. And during World War II, that cathedral was badly damaged. Rose survived, rejuvenated, the root system pushed back, and that beautiful thing is still living. So what does that say about our roses in our gardens? Should we expect our roses to grow and flourish for many, many years? Well, you might say that the answer can be very simple, but it's really not. And there are many factors going into that answer. The general consensus there is that roses, when they are not grafted with their own roots, they would live for approximately 30 years. And if we have grafted roses in our garden, that graft union is a weak point for the rose. So a lot of things can happen to that rose, but generally the life expectancy for that plant would be 10 years in the garden. And that prediction is questioned by a lot of rosarians, including me, because I do have my generous gardener at the back, on the side. Both of those plants are 10 years old. And they are living and happy, and they are producing new blooms. And I'm kind of looking at them thinking, are you going to give up living? Doesn't look like they are. So 10 years and pushing forward, and 2 of the roses are grafted. So the same I hear from a lot of rosarians who are taking care of the roses well. They're not actively doing stuff which will kill the rose. Because believe me, we are the worst enemies of our roses. And they are saying that their roses are living way past the mark of 10 years. So for the beginner rosarian, you can expect your rose to live long and well unless you kill it. And oh boy, the first thing, let me tell you, the first thing what they told us at the Master Gardening program is, you always have to tell people who ask you for advice, the more the better is bad. You have to follow the label, and we have this attitude about fertilizers. Fertilizers are easily available. There are great organic options, and we are thinking, oh my gosh, this fertilizer is not going to burn the roots, so let me put a little bit more than suggested amount. So we do that. And it is actually harmful for the rose. And I understand that some people who display rose, who are producing those blooms to compete, they do run their plants on a high fertilization schedule, and plants cannot survive in such a toxic environment, because basically if you put a lot of fertilizer in that soil is becoming toxic for the plant, and the life of the plant can be compromised. Of course, old roses are so much better at survival, and they generally live much longer. They took care of themselves for many thousands of years before humans started to experiment with color, shape, sizes, and started to produce these wonderful big cabbage-like blooms. And as a result, our roses depend on us for all the nutrients and everything else. If we put this rose into the wild environment, these roses would not be able to survive. For example, this one is Olivia Austin. She is budding out very well. She's the first one to leaf out. Actually, she's starting to have her first leaves. And I'm thinking I'm going to lower this this mesh. I will cut it in half, and I will put actually sticks in between for rabbits not to be able to jump in, the baby rabbits. This way my baby rose will have a chance to grow. So the bottom line is, they say that grafted rose will live for 10 years. On-root roses can live much longer, up to 30 years. But as I say, your rose is going to live in your garden till you kill it, or till something kills it. And there are plenty of things which can kill the rose. But 10 years is still a big time to grow roses. So enjoy your roses, and I will see you next time.